As I've gathered, you got involved in 3D printers in the last year, been studying them for a while now, looking into the technology and all of that. But maybe for people who are not that familiar with the topic, can you give us a little intro on what is 3D printing, how does it work, and
Sure.
Just general insight?
At its simplest, and just as the printer behind me there starts to kick off, 3D printing is simply taking a three-dimensional file from your computer and building that in the real world. And there are several different ways of doing that. But the idea is that instead of needing to go through all of the kind of traditional manufacturing processes to bring a product into reality, to take it from your imagination into the real world, which has traditionally been a very expensive process and very time consuming, and something that people need to have a lot of specialist knowledge to accomplish. This cuts all of that down to basically having the ability to build it in the computer and then pressing the print button, and then it gets assembled. The specific way that a printer will work varies depending on what type of printer you have, but the most common type is what I have here. Because I have two of them, and the image is flipped. So this is a what's called a filament deposition modeling printer. I'm not sure why it's printing where it's printing. I'll have to have a look at what that file is all about. But anyway, filament deposition modeling, it's fancy words. It just means it takes this spool of material here, this plastic spool on top, takes a line off it almost like a fishing line, runs it down into a heated nozzle which melts the plastic, and then the head moves around and draws a two-dimensional shape. And that shape is determined by the 3D model that you would have created on the computer or downloaded from the internet, which is another very easy way to make things with a 3D printer. And it looks at that model and then slices it into two-dimensional drawings. And when those drawings are all stacked on top of each other, you get the 3D shape of the object. And so that's how it builds it in the real world. It draws the melted plastic into those shapes and stacks them. And it can be slow. Oh, I realize now what it's doing. It can be slow and methodical, but it is so satisfying to dream up something or create it in software and then see it made real, and to see it emerging from like Michelangelo's David out of the block of marble, to see this spool of plastic become the item that you've created. For example, I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I created this ship, designed it over the course of the last year or so, and I created it out of multiple parts so that I could add electronics to it and have it light up and stuff. So it's not painted and finished yet, and I'm actually making a number of changes to the model files. This is more of a Pathfinder prototype than anything else, but the point is that like this is a large solid object that I have put batteries into. I put wiring through it. I've come up with all sorts of little mechanical ways that it can connect together. There's lots of like problem solving thinking that you go through to like create these objects. So for someone with an interest in science and technology, with a creative streak, and who enjoys problem solving, I think it's a really rewarding discipline to get into, if that's the right word. Interest anyway. And it can be a hobby, but it can also be a living. It can be something that will earn you your keep.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.